name is Tracey Kirby, and I found out I was having triplets at 13 weeks. All was going quite nicely. Unfortunately, at 18 weeks, we found out we were identical twins. So we had identical twins and a singleton. Identical twins had twin-to-twin transfusion syndrome. At that point, we couldn't have any laser treatment because of where the placenta was in front of the boys, so we couldn't have any laser treatment then. So he did say maybe the best option is to selectively reduce the pregnancy, but at that point we just couldn't do it. We thought they're both moving around really nicely, they look happy, let's just see what happens. So each week went by and the twin-to-twin was stabilised, not any better but stabilised. We then got to 23 weeks and they said, look, the twin-to-twin is quite bad now. There's no fluid round one of the identical twins, and the other twins' blood flow is really struggling. And they did say probably the laser treatment probably wouldn't work because it's quite far gone, and one of the identical twins are quite small, so probably be best to selectively reduce. We decided, no, we're not going to selectively reduce, we're going to try the laser treatment and hopefully it will work. So we did the laser treatment, and that next week it seems to have worked. One of the twins, they were still obviously struggling, but the smaller twin was decided to, he was actually growing at that point, so that was great. Then we got to 25 plus 2 days and went for our normal scan, and I thought everything was fine. And he checked the singleton's heartbeat, he was fine. Our smaller twin's heartbeat was fine, and then twin two's heartbeat, he kept clicking. We thought, oh, like he's obviously just trying to find the heartbeat. So he kept clicking and clicking, and then he said to me, oh, I was going to wipe some gel off your tummy. So I thought, oh, he's obviously put too much gel on my tummy, that's why you can't find heartbeat. And then my consultant just put his hand on my hand and just said, I'm so sorry. And obviously we knew then that one of our twins had passed away, which was a bigger twin, which was obviously we were quite shocked about. Even though he told us it could happen, we're obviously still quite shocked. Unfortunately, he also said to us, now the possibilities that our other twin could pass away too is probably more than likely, and also there's a risk to the singleton because obviously it could be quite preterm labour. So we just had to take each week as it came. Luckily, our other two survived. They were born at 32 weeks, which was great. So we had James, our singleton. Henry was our surviving identical twin, and then Caden was our little man that passed away, and Caden means little fighter in a Celtic meaning, so I thought it was quite fitting for him. So yeah, and then our little ones, James spent 3 weeks in neonatal, Henry spent 6 weeks in neonatal, and then they both came home. We then gave Caden a lovely funeral. We were quite well supported by the hospital and with bereavement midwives and our local midwife in our local community as well. So we were quite lucky in that sense. And he's now buried in our local graveyard, which is 5 minutes away from us. So we get to see him quite often, which we find quite, quite lucky in a way that we can get to see him quite often. And our two survivors know who he is and talk about him quite a lot, which to us means quite a lot. So yes, that's our story on our loss. Well, we've been really lucky, if you can call it lucky. Basically, the week after we found out that Caden had passed away, our consultant introduced us to the hospital bereavement psychotherapist. So we got to meet her the week after. We then saw her every week until Caden was born, as well as the other two. So that would have been for 7 weeks. Then after they were all born, we still actually got to see her every week for about a year. So we were very lucky in that sense. We then saw her every month or so, for about the next 6 months afterwards, and even now, we still 2.5 years later, I still have her number. So if ever I'm feeling a bit, you know, fragile, I can just phone her up for a chat. So I've been very lucky in that sense. Also, we're very lucky with the bereavement midwives at the hospital. There was 2 of them there who we got introduced to both of them. They both explained, you know, what would happen once Caden was born, all the scenarios, which was great, you know, to prepare us. And also even the day of the C-section, they explained, you know, what we want to do with Caden, how we want him to be presented to us. So we gave them clothes for Caden to wear, a teddy, all those things that, you know, meant quite a lot to us. And after he was born, I wanted to check if it was okay for us to see him. Like, they came to us to ask when would we like to see him, which was really important to us. And we're also very lucky that my local midwife at our doctor's surgery, she also is a bereavement midwife. So she actually helped me obviously come to terms with it too, and also helped me with funeral information. So she knew my other 2 in neonatal, so she actually phoned up some local funeral directors to find out, you know, quotes, and also, you know how long it would take to have the funeral. So she did all that for me, which was amazing. And to obviously to pick up the baby, because Caden was all the way down in London, and obviously we live up in Bedfordshire, so he arranged for all that to happen too. So we're really lucky in that sense. And also with the boys in neonatal, there's also another bereavement midwife there who was also extremely helpful, in the sense that James was actually ready to come home before Caden's funeral. But she actually said, we'll keep him on another couple of days so you can actually have Caden's funeral, concentrate on him, and then you can bring James home, which we thought was so lovely. We're really lucky. So we had so much support around us, you know, medical wise. It was fantastic. And even now, you know, I still have the chance I can see, well, not see, but I can speak to the hospital psychotherapist on the phone, which I do find very helpful still now. I think what made me become a befriender was that it's just nice to help others. I think when Caden first passed away, I felt there was no one else in my situation. I felt so alone. There was, no one. I thought I was the only one who had experienced that pain. So when I found out about the befriending service, I thought I would love to help somebody else, just so that they don't feel like they're so alone. Even if that means, well, during their pregnancy or after after they've had the babies, it's just, to help them, just to be on the end of the phone to chat to them, or even just to text them, just to let them know that I'm here to talk to them, or even not to talk, but just for them to just, have a rant on the phone to me about something to do with everything. So that's why it's quite important. And I feel also, it's just very important. Yeah. I think with the professional, obviously, they're just there to listen, and obviously you're talking to them and they're kind of giving you like psychological feedback, as in, oh, this is why you're feeling this is why you're feeling that. Whereas with obviously just talking to another parent, they really know how you feel. They, you can say, oh yes, that is quite normal because that's how I felt. And you don't feel so alone because you know that parent has also gone through what you have gone through, rather than it just being a professional telling you, oh yes, this is what you should be feeling or not feeling. It's quite, I feel it must be quite nice for someone to say, yes, I did feel like that at the beginning, or yes, a bit further down the line you might feel like this, and that's completely normal. It's just quite nice to know that you really are not alone, that whatever you're feeling is completely normal.